ritual at all. Wait, you didn't take all that vengeful god's curse stuff seriously, did you? You saw those two. One thinks he's been cursed, and the other one believes his friend's turned into an evil spirit. Now you see why I believe that ordinary folks should be. I've seen too many people lose their senses on account of things like this. And the best way to do that is to make a great show of destroying the boogeyman they believe in.
Sounds like that might work. If you were trying, you're onto something. After all,
Because you can't guarantee that telling an ignorant person the truth will improve the situation instead of exacerbating it. What I can do is pretend to pull back anyone who believes their time is nigh. But since the curse is...
makes sense. But why would...
Do you know the history of the Yaksha? They once fought against the ancient gods. They fought brilliantly in a battle that engulfed the whole world in darkness. Although the gods were, that resentment turned into a pestilence spreading amongst the ordinary folk. Hysteric people mistook it for the plague took the lives of many, which only furthered its spread, as the dead were a breeding ground for the disease. Then someone discovered how to prevent it from spreading, purify the air, and burn the bodies of the deceased. The pioneers of these practices were, you guessed it.
Paimon didn't see that coming.
Yes. Anyway, it took many years, but we've dealt with similar phenomena multiple times throughout the ages. Each time we successfully restored. To sum it up, we are gatekeepers, guarding the border for the sake of both the living and the dead. So when I say this curse is just a figment of the imagination, I say it with more certainty than most. But I also can't really go telling people that the ancient plagues were real, or it wouldn't... Anyway, let's wait a bit more and get ready for the show. This ley line... Oh, you're finally here! Now, look here. This device is used to drive away evil spirits. It'll absorb the curse, but don't worry. The traveler here is a seasoned warrior and will assure our safety. Oh, right. I forgot to tell you.
Will that really...
Trust the director. She might look like a weirdo, but
How can you call me a weirdo? I mean, wouldn't you say it's more charming? All right, let's get down to business.
Is it really possible to materialize the curse? I'm counting on you!
Brace yourselves.
Nur noch der.
How are you feeling? Did the curse...
Yes, I feel... I can't express how grateful I am for your and the Traveler's help.
Great. In which case... This exorcism device? People like you wouldn't recognize it, but it's just an old ley line monolith, deceptively effective at attracting... And those were real monsters, not a manifestation of your... So riddle me this. If I didn't do anything to lift the curse, then...
The curse? Then why was I sick?
Well, you caught a cold, ate something bad, or just scared yourself sick. It's anyone's guess, but I'm leaning towards the last op...
how unexpected.
I also didn't expect that.
Don't mention it. I found a way to deal with your fears this time, but I can't do it over and over again, so I'd appreciate it. Human life is short. Enjoy it.
Wow. I shall head back.
I feel relieved to see that it wasn't Big G's doing. However, unless he crosses the border, since we are done with the matter at hand, can we resume?
I believe that won't be needed. He found us first.
Big G?
I didn't mean to...
This is Big G?
Oh, well, he is a spirit. It's quite normal that he looks...
That's not what Paimon imagined when Paimon first heard the...
Let's bring him back to Wangsheng Funeral Parlor.
Okay, also der existiert scheinbar wirklich.
After all that's happened, Paimon's not even sure what's going on anymore.
Actually, I'm not surprised in the slightest. Remember what I said? It was a twist of fate that made him leave Wuwang Hill in the first place. Now, for some reason...
This explanation sounds
Actually, she pretty much summed it up.
Huh?
Don't ever question
I just wanted to check up on my friends. I promise I wasn't up to any mischief. A few days ago, some people came to Wuwang Hill on a dare. I heard them saying they'd come from Liyue Harbor, so...
It must have been poor Lo Chung that you followed. Maybe he didn't notice you, but he could still feel your presence. Now we know...
I was...
Well, I assume so, otherwise he wouldn't have been scared half to death.
Yeah, Hu Tao and Meng were...
Oh, that's because I couldn't find them. It's my first time in...
Now that you mention it, Big G always had a poor sense of direction. When we were kids,
So, all of this? Why didn't you just fly? Like any other ghost or spirit? Don't you think it's much...
It's too high for me.
that's right, yes. He used to be so afraid of height. You haven't changed a bit.
I knew I wasn't supposed to show myself to the living, and with so many people walking around Liyue Harbor, I wouldn't have found you if it weren't for the ley line mono...
I'm so relieved that you haven't become an evil.
Like I said, don't ever doubt my professional instincts.
But he just said he wanted to visit his friends. Apart from me, there's also Little Wu, Moo Moo, and so...
Well, if that's the case, we can't let him down. We'll ask Meng and I will escort Big G back to Wuwang Hill. You meet with those three and ask them for keepsakes to symbolize each one of...
They're all friends. Can't we just go there all together? Or maybe we can take...
That's not a good...
I wouldn't want ordinary folks to become superstitious. So be careful what you say when...
Are we really going with Hu Tao's plan? At least by keeping things low-key, we won't be giving anyone nightmares.
Oh, you. Sorry, I won't be needing the funeral parlor's services anytime soon. Yes. I don't know why he started working for Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. But he must have had his reasons. He's on his own now, after all. And he still... Did he tell you?
Yeah, he did. If you could pick one thing, just, you know, theoretically speaking. We're just being hypothetical here.
I'd cook something for him. Oh, he could eat spicy food like no other. His favorite meal was extra spicy Jueyun chili. I can make it for you if you bring me some Jueyun. I'm sure he'd appreciate the flavor of his childhood years.
Deal! Just give us...
This is a clear fire.
Jueyun chilies are a common sight in Liyue.
Hab ja nur 300.
Great. This should be enough. I'll get started on the Jueyun chili chicken. I guess when everyone's ready, I'll get...
Great!
So, na dann ab zu Mumu.
Not you again. I told...
Meng told us about you. You're...
That's true, yes. Come to think, it didn't take long for his good friends to figure out why. But I know there's nothing we can say to help him get over it. Letting go of the past, so... Is Big G...
How did you know? We...
Don't worry, I'm a businessman. Everyone hears the name Moo Moo and thinks I must be dim-witted. I never heard the end of it when I set up shop. But, here, take this. It's a top-of-the-line toy box we all dreamed of owning as kids. Today, business is booming. I ended up buying loads of these.
Wow!
For me, it's a memento of a childhood long gone. So, Having found me, I guess you'll be looking...
We already saw Little Wu.
I see. If it's Songzi you're after, let's meet at the overpass at Feiyun I've got an errand to run. I'll come...
Seriöses Spielzeug.
Reminiscing about old times, thinking
Our hometown was completely destroyed in a disaster, so we've got nowhere to go back to. Now,
They've just been telling me you're looking for keeps. I make artisan Sao lanterns down by Liua Harbor. A few days ago, I bought some quality plastrite shards. They're currently all in the warehouse at the... I've already spoken to the manager. Could I...
Seems like you already know what's going on. Be back.
Jetzt, wo das Laternenfest fertig ist, brauchen sie die Plausidbröckchen ja nicht mehr.
Hi, we're here to...
I think he mentioned it. Yes,
Er hat
here
es
you are.
erwähnt,
The
doch war sie.
plastrite shards are over in that.
Gaze out upon the sea. Doesn't seem like they're here. Let's look someplace else. Doesn't seem like they're here. Let's look someplace else. Yahoo! These look like what Sungza was talking about. Brace yourselves.
My thanks to both of you. This looks... Okay, I wrote all 5 of our names inside the lantern. You know, during the annual, no matter what the days may bring, whichever roads we choose to take.
as for the matter of Big G, the 3 of us have discussed amongst ourselves.
But if you get the chance, please let... And that the things we once spoke of, they've all come to pass.
Thank you. What Big G is lucky to... We got everything we need. Let's go to Wuwang Hill.
Diesmal gehe ich aber da oben hin. Das sollte kürzer sein. Ehe ich von unten dann wieder hochklettern muss.
Wouldn't gliding be faster? Wouldn't gliding be faster? Wouldn't gliding be faster? Oh, you're back already? You didn't go spilling the beans, did you, Paimon?
Does Paimon look that unreliable to
Excellent.
you?
I'm kidding! Anyway, looks like they were willing to... Nevertheless, when it comes to things like ghosts and ghouls, which explains why they were reluctant to pry and find out the full story. Which is just as well, because if they had attempted guard the border between life and death, this is Wangsheng funeral
So what about us? Does it...
Of course not. After all, you were caught up in all this already, just like Meng. It's not the end of and where we're going. Don't be surprised at what you may see or what may occur. All of it exists within the border between the living and the dead. An ordinary place, really. The only special thing, whatever you do, don't get all worked up over nothing, okay? Or else, so listen to everything I say.
Paimon's scared, but like Huta says, we're already got...
Beim Level 35, als ob man das mit Level 35 machen könnte.
Wow! What is this place?
Somewhere are close to death, but not like the hell or underworld from the tales of old. This is just a place where the ley lines tend to go a little bit haywire. So,
That pattern looks familiar.
from the right angle, you can make out the whole thing.
Oh, just like last time.
Die Wand. Ich finde sie richtig cool. Sie ist schnell. Und jetzt macht sie auch noch Feuerschaden und hat eine riesen Reichweite. Und ihre Ulti ist auch ziemlich stark. So, und die Gegner sind Level 92. Wie kann das bitte schön für Gruppenstufe 35 sein? 35er Charaktere schaffen das doch niemals. Und boom. Ja, aber damagemäßig war ich mit ihm mehr.
At peace.
That's why it's named the border. You can't just cross whenever you please. You need to have a little, how do people normally put it, pomp and ceremony?
I'm pretty sure that's not how people put it.
By the way, I imagine Adventurers Guild members are good at making order of things. See if you can find a way to get the right things into the right places. Usually it requires a bit of destruction as well as elemental reactions. On your marks.
You talking to us?
Eins fehlt noch. Hinten sind welche. Aber so kriege ich die nicht. Vermutlich muss ich oben das mit dem Symbol machen. Leuchtet mega hell. Vorhin hat es geklappt, als das so.
Brace yourself.
Here we go.
Sieht aber komisch aus. Ich hoffe nicht, dass das buggy ist. Kam ja heute erst raus, der neue Content. Bisher war fast immer, wenn irgendwie neuer Content war, verpackt. Passiert nichts.